Hello, everybody. My name is William Paul Hamus, and today I'm with Paul Johansson and Tom Willis. Tom is a candidate running to represent West Virginia in the United States Senate. We'll be asking him a series of questions about his campaign and his plans for addressing the issues West Virginians face. This interview is not an advertisement or an endorsement. It's simply an opportunity for voters to hear directly from the candidate. And Paul, if you want to go ahead to an introduction.
Yeah, my name's Paul Johansson. I've been working with Will. We've had the delightful opportunity to now interview most of the candidates running for federal office for West Virginia. And as Will has said, this is not an endorsement. It is an opportunity for the voters of West Virginia to get to know candidates at a more personal, intimate level as people, as well as people who are representing them as candidates. So, what are their skills? What do they bring to the job? How to converse and meet with them. We cover issues of transparency, financial accountability, and a number of other questions we hope people will enjoy.
Tom Willis, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and share your core policies and goals, please?
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on the show. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it. My name is Tom Willis. I'm a senator in the state Senate in West Virginia, running for U.S. Senate. I'm a Christian conservative. what you would call a constitutional conservative. I believe in the interpretation of the Constitution as our founders wrote it and meant it. I'm running on the Republican ticket for U.S. Senate, so the primary is coming up in May 12th, and my opponent is Shelley Moore Capito. I've been in West Virginia since I first arrived in 2000 and fell in love with the state and its people. I joined the West Virginia National Guard in 2000. I've been a member of the West Virginia National Guard ever since in the Special Forces Unit. So I'm a Special Forces Green Beret, still serving in the National Guard. And as I transition out of military service over the next few years, we feel like the good Lord's calling us to serve the people of West Virginia in a continued capacity, but we're transitioning out of military uniform into suit and tie in the political arena as a statesman. I'm also a West Virginia business owner. I own a law firm with a few different offices, a title and escrow company, also a few different offices, and I'm a real estate general contractor as well. And so I understand business, I understand leadership in military matters from my military service. And of course, as the sitting state senator and chairman of the Judiciary Committee, I've got a track record on the legislative side of things as well. So asking people to support my campaign as a conservative alternative to Shelley Moore Capito, and that's what I'm offering in this race.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Paul. Go
Wow,
ahead.
thank you. I wanted to make sure clear, I mean, and Will probably went over this. If you do want to come back at some point and expand on some of these, part of what we did is we want to give people as much space, candidates as much space to really be themselves, as so people can know you as a person as well as a candidate. I'm assuming Will might have said that, but because we're tucked to 20 minutes, we wanted to really be able to go through it. But you'll get a second shot at this if you want to make that opportunity.
Okay.
I think you covered the second question of how you came to West Virginia. So we're just going to plow ahead. Is what influenced you to pursue politics?
Well, I think that we're created to serve other people. So why would I pursue politics? Honestly, pursuing politics comes at a steep financial cost for me and my family. But we feel called to serve. We feel like this is something that the good Lord has called us to. We prayed about it a lot before we made the decision to go into the political realm. And I think those are the types of candidates that really you should be looking for. If the job that they're applying for is going to be the highest paid position they've ever had in their life or the most responsibility they've ever had in their life, that's probably not the type of candidate that you want. You want to look in their past because the past is almost always the best predictor of the future. So what has a person done in their past that's proven that they're qualified for the position that they're applying for? And in this race, I'm running against Shelley Moore Capito. There's a couple other candidates really that haven't done anything of significance that would qualify them for the position of U.S. Senator. I would posit that my background and resume makes me the most qualified, even though Shelley's currently in the seat. She's been there for some time, but she doesn't have any business experience. And so, How can we expect someone to balance a budget or tackle our national debt when they've never had to make payroll or run a P&L statement by running a business or multiple businesses? Um, I've served all over the world as a U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret. Learned to speak four languages along the way. Interacted with foreign cultures. I've lived, not just deployed, but lived in about six different countries, and I'm talking about multiple months living in safe houses or working abroad or studying abroad. And so
Wow.
with that experience and that perspective, it brings a wisdom to the job that I think that I offer the people of West Virginia. And again, it's about service. And so, I'm not here to try to make as much money as I can make and then die. And I'm trying to serve other people because I believe at the end of the day, we'll all be on bended knee and we'll give an answer to Christ for how we lived our life and how we stewarded the gifts and opportunities that He's given us. In that, I try to make that the defining axis or principle that guides my life. And so this is about me pouring out my life to serve the people of West Virginia. And again, I think I've got the best resume to do that. And let me just give you a specific example of why having that wisdom and that background is important. So back in 20,
May I ask a quick introduction?
sure.
May I ask you a quick, what languages did you speak? Because I grew up overseas myself. I was in Brazil when I was young, and I know we don't have a lot of time. Um, but what languages, just quickly?
So I don't speak
I
Portuguese.
speak Portuguese, French. So,
Yeah,
well, it's a weird one.
yeah. French, Spanish, Russian, and a little bit of hillbilly.
Oh, well, okay. All right, good, good, good. Do you mind if we move forward because I want to get it through as much as we can?
Sure.
And like I said, you'll get a chance to come back through some.
Sure.
The next question is some people found it difficult, some found it really easy, but hopefully it's an opportunity for you. Is there anything about your history which, if revealed, could harm your campaign?
Whew,
And
that's a
we've
good.
asked everyone this. I hope you know that.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, I'll just tell you this. When I ran for U.S. Senate, some of my staff said we're not going to work for you unless we do a background check, and so we hired a background check company, and they went through and did the whole background check, and they ended up returning our money because they couldn't find anything negative that they could use to attack me on. I'll say that. I mean, I've served two terms in the state legislature now, so of course you're going to find votes that some people will take issue with. Like for instance, last year I voted against the budget. You could pick any program out of the budget and say, well, Tom opposes this program because he voted against the budget. But the reason I voted against the budget last year was because I didn't think we were doing a good enough job of trying to shrink the size of state government. And so it was a protest vote. I knew the budget was going to pass, but I'm a big fan of Doge, and we started doing Doge a little bit more this year. And so I voted for the budget this year. But so I think you can take a look at my voting record in the state senate, and I'm sure some folks will find issues with some of my votes. But I try to vote based on conservative principles, constitutional principles, biblical principles, and so if someone disagrees with those positions, then they would take issue with me, obviously.
Gotcha. Thank you. Will, you want the next?
You're on mute, Will. I can't hear you.
Oops, my bad. And of course, all of these we asked everybody the same questions.
Sure,
So,
sure.
so this one is, who are the people you do not want voting for you?
Well, I would like everyone to vote for me, of course, but this is
Yes.
this is a Republican primary, so this is the first time we've ever had a closed primary. So if folks don't know this already, you have to be a registered Republican to vote in the Republican primary on May 12th. And so if you're an independent and you've been voting Republican for a long time, now's a good time to go ahead and join the Republican Party, so you can hopefully vote for me. I think that the folks that are again the folks that are against biblical values, the folks that would interpret the Constitution as a living, changing document based on polls, those are probably the people that are not going to be, 100% happy with my voting record, because I'm very transparent with who I am and how I make decisions, because I don't want anybody to have buyer's remorse and say I voted for you. Now you're voting on these conservative principles, and where did that come from? I try to be very upfront so people know exactly what they're getting when they vote for Tom Willis.
Mm. Thank
Got it.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again. So,
I'll take
Bob,
next. What what commitments are you willing to make regarding sources of funding for your campaign?
Well, I will tell you, my opponent, Shelley Moore Capito, has taken a tremendous amount of funding from all different sorts of lobbyist groups. In particular, of note for West Virginia, there's a huge base of support financially for her from the green energy industry, which gives me a lot of pause because obviously we're a coal and natural gas state. But with regards to my campaign, I have not accepted any donations from any lobbyists in my U.S. Senate campaign. We've only accepted donations from individuals, some business owners that are, friends of mine or in my personal network. But I can tell you, I am beholden to zero lobbyists. And I'm very different from my opponent, Shelley, in that regard.
wonderful. Well,
May should make a distinction because I don't know it. Is that the same as PACs or lobbyists? Is a PAC a lobby? I don't know if it's the same thing. That's why I was asking you to clarify.
Yeah, a PAC. So they're not the same thing. A lobbyist is someone
Got
that
it.
is hired to represent an interest. Usually, it's a business or a special interest group. So a lobbyist is a government relations person that tries to communicate with and influence legislators to vote a certain way to benefit a business or an entity. And a PAC is just it's not a person. It's a vehicle that it's a political funding vehicle. There are different rules for different types of PACs,
Right.
but people use PACs because you can get around. So, for instance, in a federal race, the maximum donation any individual can make in a primary is $3,500, and then you can do another $3,500 in the general
Right.
after the
This part I
primary.
know.
Yeah, but
Yep.
PACs are unlimited contributions, and so that's usually when you have a large special interest group, they'll frequently use PACs to put in large amounts of money, and then they try to influence races with that
Thank,
funding. So
oh,
Shelley's
thank you.
using a lot of
Any
PACs.
commitment? Are
Mhm.
cool.
you? Because is part of the question just to so
Are
we're
you
clear
taking
on
any
it. Are you
packs
taking money
to?
from PACs or is that just a
I've taken zero money from PACs. Now
thank you?
I do have a leadership PAC that the donations to that are limited to $5,000, and we've only had individuals contribute to that. And that leadership PAC allows me to help other conservative candidates around the state, so I can donate to their campaigns if we see a candidate that I like, that I think is going to uphold conservative principles in the state legislature. If they're running against someone that's more liberal, that leadership PAC helps me to support friends and allies. But we've used it very little. We haven't raised a whole ton of money in that, to
Okay,
be transparent, and zero money there has come from lobbyists or other PACs.
awesome, awesome.
Got it.
So
Thank you so
I
much.
just want to do a quick check. How much more time do you have? Do you have a
Um,
timer or are you?
yeah, we can do another about 7 minutes.
Okay, cool, awesome. So the next question for you will be, many West Virginians have faced issues like for decades, like addiction, high healthcare costs, and electricity costs, etc. What will you do differently to ensure your plans actually turn into results? And it doesn't have to just be those three that I mentioned. It can be any issues that you
Just things that have been mentioned by a lot of people. So we wanted to give you an opportunity to whatever issue you thought was a primary concern.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We've got to get the cost of living down for average West Virginians. And this is something I fought hard for in this past legislature that we just finished last week as the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. So I got a bill through the Senate, which was an excellent bill. It would have really helped West Virginians on our electric bills. Unfortunately, the House killed it, and I still am befuddled why they would do that. Although I know that lobbyists got involved in the equation and helped to shuttle this bill. But basically, it would have required the PSC before approving any electric project in the state to show that it benefited West Virginia ratepayers by at least 51% based compared to the cost. And the PSC would have had to show us their math, so quantitatively detail their decision-making process in writing and publish that publicly so everybody could see the math. So it was a simple show me the math bill. How does this help West Virginia? Because under current law, the PSC can make decisions for West Virginia ratepayers, and all they have to do is show that there's a substantial relationship. And so I don't know what that is. Is that a 20% benefit, a 30% benefit to West Virginia ratepayers? All my bill said was it has to be at least 51%, which is very reasonable. I mean, it really should be higher than that, but I was trying to make sure we could get something passed, and they had to show us their math. Unfortunately, the House leadership killed that bill, and it was a travesty. So let me just give you an example, real world. So we have this transmission line coming through the northern part of the state. It's cutting through Mon County, I believe Preston, Hampshire County. This transmission line is going to feed businesses in Virginia, but West Virginia ratepayers are going to have to foot the bill to the tune of $400 million plus for what's largely more than 51%, in my opinion, going to benefit Virginia alone. So that's just one example of how I've been fighting for West Virginians to get our utility costs down. I got it through the Senate, but again, the House killed it. And again, that's just the pernicious effect of lobbying in the state legislature, unfortunately.
Awesome. And Paul,
Well, thank you for
I'm
that.
gonna take over real quick. So since he has a
Sure.
couple minutes left, I think we should ask the last three questions. Um,
Last three, gotcha.
yeah, so yours about ranked choice after these two, but this next one is
Yep,
first
yep.
of all, thank you again, Tom Willis, for you detail. How will you engage with constituents who did not vote for you or strongly disagree with your positions?
Yeah, that's honestly my favorite thing to do. Um, my favorite part about this whole process is talking to people because that's really my passion. I don't really enjoy politics per se, as far as he said this and she said that, or she voted this, but I really enjoy just the people and hearing their thoughts and their concerns, and then talking about issues together. So I try to make myself readily available for folks to come in and talk to me and tell me what they're thinking. If they want to agree with me, wonderful. If they want to challenge me, that's fine too. We'll have a respectful conversation about it. I always try to speak the truth in love, and that's my policy. So when you come to Tom Willis, you're going to be treated with respect, even if we disagree. I would routinely have lunch with the Democrats in the state Senate just to hear their perspective and to build their relationship and to make
Congratulations.
yeah, and just to make sure that I'm not, insulated from a differing perspective. And I had an honest conversation with one or two of the Democrats in the Senate, and I said, I value your opinion. You forced me to think about whether I truly believe what my own policy is. And just was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, I had a town hall here in Berkeley County. We published it on our social media. It was open to the public. Anybody could come, and a lot of people did come, and they were able to ask me questions. What do you think about this? Why did you vote for that? What would you do in this situation? And I'll continue to do those. And I'm sure that folks that agree with me will show up. Folks that disagree with me will show up. But honestly, that's my favorite part of the whole process.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Oh,
Well,
thank you. Appreciate that. And if you want to get so I know Will's got you got the next question. If you want to get some information, some of the other candidates have put a lot on similar to what you're saying that you're interested in. So it's an opportunity to certainly research some of their views and some of the things they put out around a lot of these questions. I hope you'll avail yourself or have your staff look at it. Go ahead, Will.
So, I mean, you kind of already answered this. It
Did,
was
yeah.
what is your plan for transparency and accountability? Well, not that
Correct.
was that. Which, I mean, do you want to touch on that anymore? Or you said town halls,
Yeah, I just think
accountability.
you've got to make yourself available to the voters. I mean, I'll be honest. We get inundated with people reaching out and they want a response on a particular issue, and it's overwhelming because you're talking about the entire state, 55 counties, 1.7 million people. We try to answer those as many as we can, but I think it's important to come on shows like yours,
Mhm.
and you guys, ask real questions and I give real answers. But I'll commit to continue to do the town halls, and that's one way that we actually have time for everybody that's interested can show up, and then they can ask
Awesome.
questions and have access to the candidate, which, in this case is Tom Willis, and I commit to being available.
Wonderful.
Got it.
And
No, I
thank you for that.
appreciate your authenticity on a lot of the questions. The last question for now, and I do hope we'll have a chance to come back because I feel like you've gotten the opportunity to just scratch the surface of people getting to know you. What drives you is obviously really important to you and hopefully important to voters that listen to you. So the last question is just something to riff on is what is your position on ranked choice voting? And the context we put that in is there's a lot of people upset over that, what you touched on, division between the parties where they just won't talk to each other anymore. And in different states becoming red or blue, and it's like it's an either or. So I appreciate your conversing with the other party, but what is your view if you use ranked choice voting to look at what that does or doesn't do? You have any opinions on it?
Yeah, so we actually took this up in the legislature last session, and I voted against ranked choice voting. It's a bit of a complicated issue for the voters, but there's a means by which a less popular candidate can squeeze through in a ranked choice voting scenario, and so we debated it back and forth in the legislature last year, and just to protect the integrity of the majority, um, we voted that I think it was in municipal elections was the bill that we were debating last year, and so we decided against ranked choice voting, just because that's the best way to protect the majority will of the most of the voters. And there's been a few instances in ranked choice voting where um, a lesser qualified or a lesser popular candidate was able to squeak through. And so it's a complicated issue. There was a lot of debate on it, but for full transparency, I voted against it last session.
Thank you. All right. So, anything closing? Will, you're back on
Oh,
mute.
sorry. I said, yeah, that's all the questions we have, unless you have something else to say.
Yeah, I would just say in this race for U.S. Senate, it's really a race between Tom Willis and Shelley Moore Capito. I know there are other candidates in the race, but she's the incumbent, obviously, and I'm the only challenger that has a proven track record that currently is in the state Senate, is in the U.S. military, has a business background, and actually has proven that I can do things successfully. And not only that, I've defeated the lieutenant governor in my last race. And so I'm a proven product as far as, can he get it done? Well, I've already done it. And so as far as proof of concept, when you're talking in the venture capital language, does this candidate have proof of concept? Well, I do. I beat the lieutenant governor in the last race. So I'm providing a conservative alternative, someone who's a family man, someone whose Christian faith founds everything that I do. I've got a 100% voting record on conservative issues, and so that's what I'm offering voters on May 12th in this U.S. Senate primary. I'm asking for folks to vote for Tom Willis. If you want to find out more about my full biography or my policy positions, how you can volunteer, how you can donate and support, you can go to tomwillis.com. We try to make it as easy as possible, so tomwillis.com, and asking for your vote on May 12th.
Awesome. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much, Tom Willis, for your time.
Thanks very much, guys. Keep up
And
the